People do not always believe you when you say that they are forgiven. People don't always believe you and your change is authentic. You can change, you can grow, but the people who grew up with you, sometimes your family, your friends from childhood, whoever it is, they might not believe you, but that is okay. You have to grow anyway. So today I'm going to be going back to Joseph's story. And honestly, I thought I was finished with the story, right? The last video, I just tried to wrap it up, put a little bow on it, was like, all right, yay, Joseph. And then I was reading even further. I reread, the end of his story. And what happened to Joseph was, quick recap, he was sold into slavery when he was 17 by his brothers because they were jealous of him. A little bit was because he bragged a lot. He was his daddy's favorite. Apparently, he was a snitch and a little tattletale too, because the father, on the day he had got sold, told him, go spy on your brothers and report back to me what they doing, right? So I'm pretty sure on top of Joseph getting his coat with all those dope colors on it, so you got a better coat than the rest of us, and all of the accolades and all of the favoritism, I'm pretty sure he contributed to it because he was running his mouth. But I ain't gonna say he did anything so bad to be sold into slavery. That's not the point. The point, Joseph was sold into slavery at 17, right? Because his brothers were jealous, because Joseph had a dream that they would all bow down, and they were sick of hearing it, okay? Then he gets a good position, and the household he worked in as a slave, the household master's wife wanted him. He didn't want her. She lied on him. He ended up in prison. Fine. He goes into prison, and the prison guard puts him in charge of everything. And while he was in charge, he interprets someone's dream. The dream comes true, and Joseph said, hey, when you're restored to your position as cupbearer, don't forget about me. Don't forget I interpreted your dream. Don't forget the homie. Don't forget I helped you, and what I said was true. And the cupbearer got out and forgot Joseph for 2 years. So that's just a little recap, right? Now, the cupbearer eventually remembers Joseph because Pharaoh has a bad dream. Nobody can interpret it. And the cupbearer who is bringing him his cup of wine or liquor, I'm going to say wine, right? Because it was Egypt, or whatever concoction he was drinking, he probably had to keep taking him stuff all through the night. I'm pretty sure Pharaoh's nerves was shook, right? I'm pretty sure he has a crazy dream and nobody can interpret it. He's not sleeping good, right? And the cupbearer all of a sudden, boom, remembers Joseph, remembers that Joseph interpreted his dream and the dream came true, right? So then he tells Pharaoh, Pharaoh has Joseph brought to him. Joseph interprets the dream. Joseph also says, you're going to need to do boom, 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 XYZ, right? All of these things. And so Pharaoh goes, well, since you know what I need to do, and since the Spirit of God seems to reside with you, I'm going to put you in charge of all those things you told me. So then we enter into the point where Joseph is second in command. The brothers enter the picture. A famine hit, and Egypt was where everyone had to go for food supplies under Joseph, right? Joseph was the one who set this up. He had the supplies stocked. So the brothers come up to him, and immediately Joseph knows who they are, but they don't recognize Joseph. Now, I feel like that's point number one where Joseph's feelings got hurt personally, right? Because I know you, why don't you know me? But Joseph had changed. He wasn't the same. And he was working under Pharaoh. So he had on the Egyptian garb, whatever. He just was not looking like little 17-year-old Joseph. No, this was full grown bodied Joseph, right? Handling business, second in command Joseph. This wasn't little scrawny Joseph. So the brothers didn't know him. Joseph has a series of back and forth with his brothers after that, where he tests them. He wants to see have they changed. He cried a lot. I'm sure it triggered him. I mean, I hate to say the word triggered because I know it's overused, but I'm sure seeing his brothers resurfaced all of the hurt, all of the memories, resurfaced the fact that he had lost all this time with his family, right? And so they go back and forth, blah, blah, blah. He forgives them, right? Then he gets them to move to where he lives. So all of his brothers' families, his father is still alive. His father moves there too. Pharaoh tells them, y'all can have the best of the land. And then Joseph's father died. Now, he lived an additional 17 years after him and Joseph and the family had been united, which I think is interesting because Joseph was 17 when he was sold into slavery. Anyway, he lived there in the land. They had time to catch up. They had time to enjoy each other. And then the father died. Once the father died, the brothers thought Joseph was getting ready to what? Spin that block and get that revenge. But it's not true. And it really hurt Joseph. So the brothers say amongst themselves, what if since Daddy gone, Joseph finna get us back for real now? That wasn't in Joseph's heart, right? So they go to Joseph and they like, oh, please don't do nothing to us. Joseph cried. And I thought we was through with Joseph crying, right? I was like, okay, wrapped up the story last video. No, he got his feelings rehurt. And maybe it was something like, man, I've been good to y'all. I forgave y'all. I'm past that, right? What are y'all saying? But the brothers couldn't fully receive it for some reason. They just didn't fully accept that Joseph had changed. And that's what I want to talk about, right? Joseph had changed. He demonstrated change. He moved them. He let them off the hook. He was like, I realized God sent me ahead of everyone so that I could preserve our family and a million other families, right? Joseph had wrapped that thing up and put a bow on it, right? Like I tried to do that last video. But the brothers just couldn't receive. And forgiveness is not always a one-time act, right? So Joseph could have held on to bitterness and resentment. When someone dies, it does bring up feelings, right? It brings up memories, especially a father, a mother, someone that's over a family. I'm pretty sure in the brother's mind, he may have started remembering how they had done him, right? But I don't think Joseph was on that. However, I'm not gonna front, right? People done spun the block for less, okay? People done got you back for less out here. So any one of the things they did to him, being mean to him when he was younger, selling him into slavery, not knowing who he was when they rolled up, all of those things really could have been enough for someone else to say, you know what, I'm finna spin the block. Daddy not here no more. Daddy not here to save you no more, right? Daddy can't stop me now. But that wasn't in his mind. So the forgiveness for Joseph was real. He reiterated that forgiveness to his brothers. He reassured them, right? Which, I don't know how I would have acted. I might would have been like, if that's what you think I'm gonna do, maybe. I don't know. But Joseph's heart was fully healed and he reassured his brothers. And the thing about Joseph's forgiveness and the thing I love about his story is that when you go down the line of his life, about 400 years after Joseph had passed and the children of Israel, they ended up, in slavery in Egypt. God set them free and they were supposed to enter their promised land. And right before they entered their promised land, Joseph's descendants, his 5 great-great-great-great-great-granddaughters, show up and ask for their inheritance because their father did not have a son. So they showed up and they asked Moses to ask God, hey, but can we get our father's stuff? Even though he didn't have a son, neither one of the daughters were married. It was 5 of them. They still wanted their stuff. And they asked. And God said they are correct. And whole laws got based off of them speaking up and asking for their inheritance. And so that's Joseph's legacy, right? And those same laws that, were rewritten in the Old Testament for those 5 girls have impacted our laws in the 20th and 21st century in America. So something that happened here was that women could not own land, and I don't know who did it. I can't remember the specifics, but it was the early 1900s. Somebody built a case around the 5 daughters of Zelophehad from the Bible, and they founded this law on that. Yes, women can inherit land and own land. And so it's just amazing that Joseph's forgiveness just went way beyond even just him and his brothers, and it just kept going and going and going and going, right? Sometimes we don't get to fully see on this side of our lives what impact we're going to have, especially when you're talking about forgiveness and restoration and just understanding how God was working things for your good, even though they didn't feel good. And that's a hard place to be. I'm not saying this from an easy place. It is hard, right? And so even if people doubt your growth, you need to You need to show up healed. Don't stop showing up. Don't stop reassuring them if that's what it takes, right? And so, yeah, he was grounded, he was healed, he wasn't trying to spin the block, he was truly free. And I'm pretty sure when his brothers approached him thinking he had revenge in his heart, I'm pretty sure that hurt him. Because I'm like, what all I got to do? When I told you I was sorry, I'd have moved you to the best land. You feel me? But whatever. Joseph reassured him, he was patient. And I just want to encourage you, because your healing is not just for you, it's for everyone who comes after you. It's going to impact other people, it's going to impact lives beyond you. And so I just wanted to go back and finish the story, because I thought I was through and from the last video, right? But I wasn't. So I was like, ooh, I got to go back and say something about this, because this is important. This is an important piece of the story about forgiveness and about, reconciliation, and about how some people don't think it's the real deal. And so definitely, if this message reminded you that your healing matters, right? I want you to drop healed and growing in the comments. I want you to subscribe to the channel. I talk about encouragement. I encourage you to get up, get out, and achieve your goal on this channel. And so I would really appreciate the subscribers. I would appreciate the support. Hit the like, thumbs up. I appreciate it. Share it with someone if you feel like they need to hear this. Quick word about forgiveness and about how your healing isn't a one-time thing. Your forgiveness is not always a one-time thing. You may have to reestablish it or re-extend it to someone. And so I definitely want to encourage you to just be on your journey with healing, however that looks, wherever you are in that. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get it right every day, all day. No one always gets it right. Even with the story of Joseph, like, he tested his brothers. He kept messing with him. He could have said, oh, yeah, it's me. No, he didn't do that at first. He sent them on tests. He asked about the father. He had him thrown in prison for a few days. And so don't beat yourself up if you're not getting it 100% correct. Just know it's your journey and it's unique. And so until the next time, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Again, subscribe and hit the thumbs up.